Coronavirus, scammers, price gougers, robocallers, those are just some of the things that North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein deals with, and he is here to answer your questions about those topics and more. You can have your text question answered. All you have to do is text us that question, 336-379-5775. Remember, this is text only. Do not call that number. The best way to get your question answered is by text. Okay, the very first question on the text is, if I'm on the do not call list, why do I still get scam calls and texts? I feel like I almost get them more now after I signed up.
And your pleasure to be with you, and your caller is actually right. You continue to get them because there are bad people out there. There are criminals who engage in these illegal robocalls, knowing full well that they are flouting the do not call list. Now, you don't get more of them because you're on the do not call list. You get more of them because technology enables these criminals to make these calls using the internet incredibly cheaply and easily. And so I'm doing everything in my power to fight robocalls, including having put together a 51 Attorney General coalition, every AG in the country, including the district, Democratic and Republican. And we negotiated a series of anti-robocall principles with the major telecom companies. And I actually got a really great text today from Verizon that they are now putting into place new technology. They call them they're going to put fraud calls automatically into voicemail. And if you have a particular type of phone, they can actually put spam calls into your recent calls and voicemail. So it never even rings to your phone. And that was one of the principles we negotiated, was for them to deploy technology to the system that blocks, that screens these calls out so that you and I don't get annoyed by them. We're going to continue to see improvements as time passes and they make more capital investments. And I'm going to keep on the industry, but I'm also going to keep going after these robocallers because they're annoying to you and me, but they cost vulnerable people, particularly seniors, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and it's terrible.
Now, there are some robocalls and texts that you're allowed to get. This person is saying, are texts on political races or topics along the same lines as robocalls? Because I receive at least one a day.
You are supposed to, they can make phone calls, politicians can, political calls are accepted from the do not call list. You know, I'll have to check on the texting. I get these all the time too, and they're addressed to people who I am not. And in fact, they come from political parties of which I am not a member. And so they are way too many, and it's very annoying. But political calls and polling are excluded from the do not call list.
Okay, one more note on the calling and the robocalling and things of that nature. The Duke Energy scam call has been going around, and I know that there's going to be some movement on that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked, Tanya, because we're going to do a fraud alert tomorrow on this very topic. And so we're breaking it to you and your viewers first, that we've been getting increasing number of notice from North Carolina consumers and from Duke Energy that there are robocalls going around saying your service is about to be disconnected. Pay us immediately to keep the lights on, to keep the heat or air conditioning on. And Duke Energy does not operate like that. And what they're doing is they're preying on people's financial distress. They know that more than 1.2 million North Carolinians have filed for unemployment because of the coronavirus pandemic. And a lot of people are struggling to pay bills. And some people may be delayed on their utility bills. And they want to exploit that moment and that fear to steal from you. And so we're going to see stuff like this. We're going to hear from debt collectors, student loan collectors. It's all going to be from criminals harassing people in the hopes that in people's financial desperation, they can steal their last buck. It's really terrible.
All right, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you hang up that phone and that you go find your Duke Energy bill and you call the number on your Duke Energy bill and you talk to them directly.
Precisely the right advice, Tanya. Thank you.
All right, this person is asking, have you heard of any scams related to election season or absentee mail-in voting ballots?
There are not scams that I've heard of about actual mailing ballots, but we did hear today of polling, political polling, where people were getting texts inviting them to do a political poll. And some pollsters do that, but some scammers know that pollsters do that and are impersonating pollsters. And if you click a link, you run the risk of downloading malware onto your phone where they can access your personal information. So if you didn't invite the pollster to reach out to you, do not click on any link that you get from somebody in the political campaign season because it could be a criminal.
Okay, we're going to continue on with your questions. We've got one more segment coming up after the break. You can text us your questions 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.